Hello there and welcome back to the bar. Come in, come and sit down and let's have 4 or 5 minutes just chatting through the latest episode in this particular series of the Bar Chat. So this series we're looking at how you stay race fit across your organization to deliver your projects and programs. And when we say race fit, it's kind of a bit easier to stay race fit for your tier 1 programs because there's not many of them. They're very big and they're sponsored by execs. But actually, one of the questions is how do you actually stay race fit for your tier 2 programs, let alone your tier 3 or your BAU projects and programs. And if you stick to some basic, simple fundamentals, I really think it is possible to be race fit for all of them without it being too onerous and without it being too difficult for the organization to cope with. In this episode, I want to focus on the concept of a flight path and the project plan. And the reason I want to focus on it is because the question that most people around the organization who are either the beneficiaries of your program or project, or alternatively involved as stakeholders or even the sponsor, they want to know the flight path. They want to understand what the flight path looks like. And one thing I guarantee you, if you create a flight path for your program, so let's just have a look at a little, I'll do this on here. Let's have a look at a sort of an example flight path. Here we have time, and here we have activities. And this would typically be in a project plan or whatever. So what they don't want to see is if we say year 1, year 2, year 3, so that's years, then what they don't want to see is no deliverables until year 2.5. They might want to see them in 2.5 years' time, but one thing I guarantee is that they will switch off very quickly in years 1 and 2, because most people have fairly simple lives and they look in small chunks at what their targets are. And if you're a target-driven organization, like 99.999% of organizations that certainly I work with, then the chances are most of the people's attention is going to be on what we deliver this quarter, this 6 months, or this year. So if you start building a plan that doesn't deliver anything for a year or a year and a half, you're going to lose people's attention pretty quickly. So what do? So the first thing is you create some phases. And in those phases, you have phase 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And in those phases, what you do is you make sure that you have deliverables that are really clearly outlined in your flight path. And we'll look at what I mean in a minute. So in phase 1, yes, you're going to have tasks and you're going to have milestones. And those milestones will happen at different times. But you want to show that you have got some deliverables which are dropping in that first phase, because I know that if I've got deliverables that are dropping in the first 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, I'm going to keep people's attention that much longer. And actually that's pretty key for me. It's important to me that I keep their attention. Equally, if I go in here, this is in our V-bar, what I want to do is set out that phasing in a way that's sort of interesting and compelling. I want that flight path to be easy to understand. And I want to also make sure that as we go down that flight path, in fact, maybe this is a better option because this is a slightly more creative flight path, but this is actually just lifted straight from a Gantt chart. So it takes you out of project management territory into a more creative, engaging flight path for your program. And I think the key thing here is that if I've got visibility of that flight path, I see things being delivered in that first phase or second phase, but I see constantly things being delivered, then I'm going to have a lot more confidence in the program, and therefore that sort of momentum that sits behind all good programs will be there and will carry you all the way through and will carry you through to a successful completion of the program. So think about it. Think through your flight paths, phase them down carefully, and make sure you have some early successes, things that you can sort of build that momentum with. All the best. Thank you for coming to the bar chat today. It's been great to have you in the bar, and I hope you've enjoyed the topic we've been talking about. Now, if there's anything in this topic, if there's anything in this bar chat that's particularly resonated with you, or there's a challenge that you're facing with your portfolio or your program or your stakeholders or whatever it might be, then one of the things that I'm offering is a free private bar function. So you can either come into our very own bar and come and be a part of it, and I promise you there'll be a drink waiting here for you, or I'll come to you, or we'll have a phone call, and we can maybe kick the tires on over a bar chat on a challenge that you're facing internally with your program, portfolio, or whatever. If you want to do that, please take me up on the offer. I don't expect anything in return, and I really genuinely don't. You're very welcome to just click the link in the post on LinkedIn. There's a link in there. Connect and register, and we will be in touch to sort a private bar function out. Come and see me in the bar.